I start feeling into the stars. I show him a little star linking practice, get him really opened up, and I'm like, just be patient and be still. We're sitting there for a couple minutes. He clicks over, and he describes this to me afterwards. He was like anticipating, doubting, afraid, it's not gonna happen. He's already disappointed. And then he like lets go and he's like, you know what? I felt this feeling like, you know, whatever. Maybe it's not real. Maybe it doesn't matter. Why am I, so focused and affixed on this happening? Right then, right when he let go, boom, ship shows up. And then another ship, and another ship, and another ship. And they show up, they pulse across the sky, pulsing together, disappearing, coming in kind of like a little chain. And he's blown open so much he just starts crying. And his heart is open. He's like, my God, Adam, it's true. It's real. And he didn't even know how to deal with it, how to process it. And he shared with me this moment of this releasing. But even after that experience, he still came back to me in an email like, did that really happen? Because he hadn't opened up enough of the neural pathways to actually accept this possible new reality. And that's what it takes, a shift to a new state of belief and a new state of openness and a new state of being. And that shift is an initiation process. This is why it doesn't just happen to everybody. We have to be willing to go deeper, explore more of ourselves, find out who we are, and why do we need to know?
There are so many different civilizations out there, and I think that the number is nearly infinite. It has to be. The universe itself is infinite, and we know that in our own Milky Way, right now, science is telling us we have 80 billion Earth-like planets in the Goldilocks zone, right here in our galactic neighborhood. That would suggest that we have a lot of different things checking out planet Earth. But how do they get here? Are we looking for, when you say a ship appears above you, is this a nuts and bolts situation? Is it interdimensional? Are they folding space? Are we not seeing them get here? Do we not make that observation of their arrival and then boom, they're just appearing above us? How does this happen?
The factor in science that it's one of the big limitations. And this was a fault that, even Stephen Hawking fell into. He said, extraterrestrials can't come to Earth because they would have to expend all of this fuel and travel through all of this space. And then eventually they'd finally get here and they'd be out of resources. And then they'd have to come down and mine our planet to get their resources back, to be able to get back home. And generations would die along the way. And I say, well, look, that's a major fallacy because that assumes the same level of technology that we have, right? That's assuming that you only have horses and buggies. There's no such thing.
It's the only way that we can look at it, right?
Yeah,
Sure.
I mean, we get stuck in that lens.
Right.
But as soon as you consider maybe a ship has a way to create a gravitational envelope around it and essentially transposition itself to a new spot, quantum teleportation, but at scale for a ship, suddenly, boom, they can be here like that. Second, they're not using light to communicate. So if we're sending out beams of radio waves trying to talk to the Pleiades, they're 400 light years away. It's not getting there for 400 years. They're using quantum communication. They're using telepathic communication. It's instantaneous, it's in a totally different zone, and it's not using light as the mechanism. So the things we're trying to sense as communication methods, even SETI's obsession with let's find a laser beam coming from another planet.
Right.
Well, yeah, but what's your point? Because they're not using those laser beams to talk. That's way too slow. And so the ships are here. The ships have been here. They've been visiting this planet for thousands and thousands of years. All the stories of the gods and goddesses back in the day coming down, making demigod babies occasionally, superhero abilities, fantastic tools that could regenerate
Sharing
food.
information. Yeah, right.
They've been here. And we're now in a stage where we're just starting to open up to that realization, and we're starting to understand the physics of how it could work.
Tonight, Josh, you, Adam, and I are going to go call in some ships. Are you ready?
Yes, please.